All right, so guys, welcome again. I haven't even gotten a chance to click the prospectus as yet. Somebody showed me while I was up here. So, what we're going to talk about is what exactly is one-on-one. Tell us some high level details about numbers, the financials. Why is this? Why should we be one? Why is this something that we should consider? And because of the type of environment we're in, a digital environment which is growing, how does one-on-one feed into that digital growth?
Thank you so much, Simon, and good evening to everybody. Good evening to all patrons. David, good evening. Very happy to be here. My name is Ricardo. I'm the founder and managing director of One on One. As you know, today the company announced its filing to be listed on the junior stock market. This is a company that started 7 years ago. Well, 9 years ago, we registered. Tyrone, who is here with me, he has been a director since day one. And we're really, really focused on solving some big, big problems, not only in education, but training. And not only in Jamaica, but we're talking about regional and global problems. In terms of the company and kind of, our uniqueness, we focus a lot on, personalized education. I heard Keith talking earlier, Simon, about the whole idea of why Project Star is important and going grassroots. Well, I can tell you that myself, my own story started grassroots. I would have grown up in a place called Riabo in Trelawney, went to school there. There were days that, it was really bad. Came to Kingston, got an opportunity. Education really saved me. I decided to stay in Jamaica. Not so much because of, what you read in the papers, but certainly I was just so passionate about solving the problem that I managed to kind of elevate myself above. So, one-on-one, we focus on online, personalized online learning. We are the technology and content behind online learning, right? So what we do is to license our technology and our content to businesses and governments. 95% of our business, Simon, is actually done B2B. What that means is business to business. We actually have a very small retail market. And as a result of this IPO, we will be re-entering that space. Our revenues now tops 300 million. We're on track to top 300 million, the highest in our company's history. We've been growing rapidly over the past few years, more than 120% growth year on year. And this is really the testament to the technology that we have and what we've been able to do with it. In terms of profitability, Simon, we're about close to 100 million now in profits. And, in terms of EBITDA, we have exceeded $100 million. And, what I said to people, and Tyrone can attest to this, is that, we're not just an education company. We have invested a lot in technology. As I was sharing with you, Simon, we spent about $60 million in research and development over the past year. And what we're focused on is this whole idea of AI and machine learning in building what we call adaptive learning technology. And just for the folks, just so you understand that, we're going at it with folks like Google and Microsoft. Our head of R&D is a guy called Dr. Ricardo Allen. And we have a lot of investment that we've gotten from Sagicor, Panjam, to focus on building these tools. So, we have created the technology, Simon. We license the technology, and we have long-term deals that we use to benefit from the technology. 70% of one-on-one revenues are actually outside of Jamaica. We earn less than 30% of our income in J dollars. And most of our business comes from the Caribbean. And we're expanding very rapidly into Latin America. In fact, we just signed a deal for about 75 million to expand into Panama and Costa Rica with our technology. So it's quite amazing what's going on.
Right. Thanks for that, Ricardo. I want you to give us. So quite a few of us would have probably seen one-on-one on social media before, particularly when COVID hit and a lot of all all education had to find some form of online home. Walk us through your story. I know that you started. You were saying you were doing the tutoring yourself.
Right.
Walk us through that story.
It's quite an entrepreneurial journey, right? And some of my students are in the audience. I see Shani, who is at the back. I see Michael Price, who is at, we had a number of students in the early days coming to one-on-one. I see a few students there at the back. We started out by myself, at Ewing, going around Kingston, taking a taxi, tutoring people. And I did that for the first couple of years, guys. In 2010, I was shortlisted for the Rhodes Scholarship. I was a 19-year-old, just booming with exuberance and so on. 3 years after, I was awarded a Fulbright scholarship. I decided 2 weeks not to take that plane, Simon, because I found an idea. And that idea was that I figured out a way to learn math without necessarily sitting in front of a teacher, right? And so what we started doing is that we started building videos. We teamed up with Tyrone. He came on the board as another entrepreneur. And we started building math videos for people. So that's how it started out. But what we found out quickly, Simon, was that while people love the personal concept, folks like Michael Price, who's now at Barita actually, he was the top student in math for the Caribbean and he benefited from a small classroom. But the idea was that the business moved from 10 students. Well, it started with 2. We came up to 20. We quickly reached to 100, Simon, and then we were at 1,000. And then the question was, we had to ask ourselves sure.
Check.
Yeah, man. Thanks for that. So the questions we asked ourselves in 2015, guys, was that, yes, we're driving revenues. Yes, people love personalized and individualized education. But how do we kind of contain this business that's growing at such a rapid pace? And so we got our first investment, Simon, from Sagicor for $20 million to start building our online technology. Now, here's what's remarkable. We used that $20 million in 2015 and we invested in a technology that since COVID has generated over $400 million in cash for the business. And that's what investment is, right? So that investment from Sagicor for $20 million allowed us to invest in core technology and our core products that we now benefit from. I tell you that one-on-one's business is very simple. We license our technology, we get paid for it annually, and we have a team and a back office that simply ensures that we service and support our contracts, right? So we actually don't create or produce every time we sell. We are benefiting from a technology and content that we built years ago that we continue to improve on. So just to tell you that the journey has been massive. In 2016, I can tell you that we hit a rough spot. We came out of the class business and we managed to go fully online. And over the past 3 years, guys, we've seen the success of just that focus, and we continue to focus. I think one of the things we benefit from, Simon, is that we have a solid board. We have guys like Daddy Williams. He founded Life of Jamaica, Sagicor. He comes with much years of experience and so on. Douglas Orain, Grace Kennedy. We have a Tyrone. We have those guys from Sagicor and the Panjam who have poured over $200 million in one-on-one over the last 3 years to create the level of technology that when COVID happened, Simon, all the governments, all the institutions, they came to one-on-one to do one simple thing. Keep kids in school, keep education going, keep learning happening. And that is why we're here to tell you today that we are a success, because we were there with the technology to take advantage and to help people in a time of need.
Thanks, Ricardo. So you would have, Tyrone, you would have been with one-on-one from an earlier stage. I actually didn't know that part, right? Tell us what has been your vantage point of the company and its growth.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Good evening again, everybody. Just want to congratulate Ricardo first on his, IPO for one-on-one. Funny enough, when one of my first investment through the parent company of iCreate, eMedia, that Sagicor led, Ricardo worked on that deal. We know each other from JC, but he worked on that deal directly. And I remember we had a conversation. He came to me and said, "Boy, Wilson," because JC we call each other by last name, and he said, "Wilson, I'm going into this entrepreneurship thing, right?" And then a couple of years later, came with the idea of one-on-one. Danny Williams, we mentioned, who founded Life of Jamaica now, Sagicor, called me to and said, boy, I wanted to serve on the board and everything. And that was from the startup days, right? And what we have seen is a true Jamaican success story in terms of entrepreneurship. And this is the more established entrepreneurs and leaders of corporate Jamaica giving back in terms of investing in the future. And they invested in Ricardo, they invested in 101. We've been there. It's technology. It wasn't understood easily by some of the investors, but Ricardo had a vision and really articulated that and stick through the plans, stick through the process, discipline enough with the board structure. 101 has been running like a publicly traded company from day one, right? So this transition is going to be an easy one for Ricardo. We have the committees, we have the audited financials, we have the chairman, we have the directors, and what I love is that the board and the team is comprised of some experienced individuals who are also entrepreneurs in their own right. Right, and Michael Bernardo is the chairman, has led Carreras Group through some of its best transformation and growth. He's the owner of Catherine Speak, and what's the drink and Spike Industries, right? Chairman of Jamaica College, so very experienced in the kind of secondary education field and so forth, and he's a Harvard Business School graduate, same as Douglas Orain, who is a who is the mentor for the board, Harvard Business graduate. We all know the Grace Kennedy story with Douglas Orain. There's John Bailey, entrepreneur. We have a good team. We have a good board who is very supportive of Ricardo, who is behind him 100%. We had a retreat the other day where we saw the vision of the company and where it's headed. And, 101 has capitalized on the future of education, which is it's online, right? It's hybrid and it's global. And this company is a Jamaican based company, yes, but as you heard Ricardo say, 70% of the revenues is outside of Jamaica. It's within the Caribbean region, Latin America, but it's going to go global as a result of this IPO and the injection of capital to really build on the technology and expand the company. So it's a real Jamaican success story. I'm excited, honored to be here supporting Ricardo, one young entrepreneur to another. And this IPO is really representing the future of Jamaican entrepreneurship. Like there's a new cadre of young people in business who are taking some big risk, who are investing in new technology, new business opportunities, and they're coming to the market. 101 is coming. Eddie Focal came the other day. Dollar came, right? And there are a few. I create a few years when we came as a startup, and there are quite a few more that I know about. And what is critical is that we support each other, we invest in each other, we push each other, and we just really help to transform Jamaica. This Project Star and everything that is there, we're here to support them. We're here to support entrepreneurs and help to build Jamaica.
So, Tyrone, as a CEO that has a listed company CEO, you have a few years under your belt now. What's one of the a few tough years and a few good. What's one piece of advice that you've given Ricardo about being the CEO of a listed company?
Well, I literally, Carl, I think I was giving giving him the advice just now, right? And that is to focus on the long term. You know, what I know is that as a CEO of a listed entity, sometimes it's easy to get distracted on the quarterlies and the stock price and these things. It's not to say we don't care about it. We care about every aspect of the company in terms of its KPIs and so forth. But as entrepreneurs, and especially as young entrepreneurs with young businesses that have 50, 100 years in front of it, um, you have to stay focused on the long term, right? And I mean, that was critical for me when iCreate was going through some of its toughest period when we listed in 2019 and in 2020, even up until last year, right? We faced some really dark times, but I was bullish on where I wanted to take the business, and all was necessary was the right team to support me to get there. I stick through it, I focus on the long term. And it's the same thing I said to Ricardo, focus on the long term. Obviously, you care about the company, you care about its shareholders, you care about its customers and the team. but at the same time, you still want to ensure that you're leading with 5, 10, 15, 20 years in mind, and not just Q2 or Q3.
I have a question for you, Ricardo. So, um, Tyrone spoke about the long term. I want to talk about the medium term. This is 1 year, 3 years. What are some of the things that one-on-one has in? Because a part of coming to the market to raise capital is the capital going back in the business? Yeah, so everything is going back in the business. What are some of the things that we should look out for as prospective investors in one-on-one that you want to point out here today?
No, that's a very good question. First of all, let me just double down on something Tyrone said, and I just want to engage everybody who's in the audience. It's so important, it's so incredibly important that as a person, I think one of my shortcomings as a CEO that I found out quite quickly is that I thought I could do everything, right? I have an actuarial background, studying to become an actuary, and I felt I could do everything in the business. And when we really took off was when I invested in people, investing in the talent, and we have over 70 young people now who powers one-on-one. I tell people every day that, it's not me. It's a team that I work with that causes all of these beautiful things to happen. So for my team in the audience, big up. For my team at home who is tuning in, big up. And that's what's going to cause us the growth that we need to go forward. Now, in terms of the short term, guys, as I mentioned, one-on-one is on track for this year to make roughly about $320 million in revenue. We're going to end the year at about $95 million in net profits. And in terms of growth, we're looking to push next year to about $150 million in net profit, and then to about $200 million shortly thereafter. Most of our deals that we have, guys, are long-term deals that we have, okay? So we have these long-term deals for our technology that we continue to earn from. And while that is happening, in terms of our growth plan, our growth will come from the retail market. What do I mean by this? Yes, we sell our technology and we license our technology to governments and businesses and our content. We have a course marketplace. A lot of people don't know this. Of about 10,000 courses that we license to business all across Jamaica. Some of the largest government agencies run their technology on one-on-one. Tyrone has a school that runs on one-on-one. The government runs on one-on-one. Flow runs on one-on-one. CXC runs on one-on-one. Not many people know that because of the type of deals we have. We have these deals where we license our technology. You call it whatever you want to call it, and we benefit from it. So that's our core business. But now, for growth, I want you to follow me now. We're going to take that same technology, and we're going to re-enter the retail space. Now, individuals, teachers, you see we have a reserve pool for teachers. Never before done in Jamaica. Teachers are the backbone of our country, guys. And this is an amazing initiative for them to get involved in investment. Now, why did we create an investment pool for teachers? Well, we're going to be allowing close to 20,000 teachers to use our technology to generate income for themselves and to not only benefit from a dividend from the company, but certainly to benefit from earning from tutoring fees by staying in Jamaica, using our technology, and reaching people globally. So that's a big, big growth initiative for us. We get commission on that. That's how we make money. Secondly, our trainers. We're working with currently about 50 trainers who are using our technology to create courses and selling it. You have folks who are doing project management, they use our technology. If you offer training, you use our technology to actually deliver that. In terms of enterprise business, we have a unique position in the Caribbean where we are the regional partners for UNESCO to digitalize every country education system. We've just done it in the Bahamas. For the first time in their history, they were able to deliver reports virtually, digitally, for 40,000 students. And now we're moving on to another country to do the very same thing. That's a big deal for us. So in terms of growth short term, is to continue to digitalize these countries. Jamaica, we're looking at Jamaica, we're looking at a few other countries, and this is a big deal for us. So, to put simply in the short term, it's all about continuing what we're doing. We're going to be using the funding to build out content. We're going to be using the funding to expand our team, to take advantage of a global shift in opportunity. Keith mentioned it, guys. The workforce right now is 1.3 million people. Less than 20% of that workforce is trained beyond the secondary school level. That's a unique opportunity for one-on-one to offer training to people so that they can get trained, certified, and make better money for themselves, improve their lives, and then, do better for everybody. So that's the idea.
Thanks, Ricardo. I'll just start to take questions now. Trevor, just let us know if we have any questions on Twitter. Guys on Twitter Spaces, we have over 100 people tuning in already, and growing. So just let us know the questions. You can tweet it, hashtag SOTR, hashtag one-on-one, hashtag I am one, are you one, I am one, right? Let me hold on, let's put on this. All right. Any questions from anyone in the audience? I know most of us have been here most of the evening, so you might not have seen the prospectus. But is there anything about one-on-one that you'd like to ask? Anything that you'd like to know? Oh, when is the opening date? Well, yeah, David, know, boy. David have it. So David said the opening date is August 12 at 9 a.m. But you know what we always say? That if you do decide to participate, you can apply for that. Pri- okay. Alright. So you can apply for that before. Don't wait until the opening date to start your investment. Are there any so I don't know if Sajiko is here, but okay. Yeah, David, you want a chair? Yeah, man. All right, guys. No, so yeah. Say, can come up, David. So David has. Oh, is that? So the barman listing them there. Me for link back over, Me for say champs them there, them a run. I say, but a ball in our play though. So Ricardo, next. So I didn't know that a majority of one-on-one's business is to business clients, right? Do you expect to expand more on the retail side? That's in the schools, and at what level? Is it CSEC? Is it tertiary? PEP.
Yeah, so this summer we're actually investing in re-entering that high school market for students who are preparing for exams. We have an existing arrangement with the government and we are looking to expand that. The way one-on-one will look going forward, Simon, I must be honest with you. Currently we are 70% enterprise and, 70% of our revenues outside of Jamaica, 95% enterprise. We want to flip that. In next year, we're looking for 25% of our revenues to come from the high school market, students actually taking courses on our platform. And then as time goes by, we want to diversify our income by targeting the retail base without losing our enterprise base. So, I tell people all the time, my plan is to bring one-on-one to $1 billion in revenue in no time. And how I plan to do that is through the technology. The beauty of our business, Simon, is that we can stay in Jamaica. First of all, we're a fully remote company. Not one of my team members actually work from an office. We have a virtual office and we work distributed across the globe, actually. And our immediate plans, while it's to re-enter the retail space, Simon, I can tell you it will be gradual. We're not leaving the enterprise space because there's a lot of growth to come from that. I can tell you that governments are coming to us every single day for us to do what we've just done in the Bahamas in their country. And so we have a very unique, exclusive right in the Caribbean to digitalize education system. So we want to maximize that in the short term while diversifying by entering this retail space by providing training, classes, tutoring, and so on for students. And our business model is a lot like Uber that we're entering this space, Simon. We're not providing, we're not actually teaching the classes. We're connecting teachers, these 10, 20,000 teachers, allowing them to create their classes for their students. And we get a percentage of it. So we don't need to own a school. We don't need to own a teacher. We don't need to employ a teacher. We connect teachers to students and we take a commission on it. We connect trainers to professionals and we take a commission on it. That's our model.
Do you see yourself building a one-on-one academy?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I mean, certainly we're looking at many things, but I like to focus. The fact is that, Simon, we've grown in the way that we have because of you know, how we kind of stick to some of the plans that we have. Okay, and we believe in a very distributed model where we don't necessarily have a school or classes. We connect people and we benefit from that. And the reason we do that is because this is a very exponential business model. You think about Uber, Airbnb, and those guys. You know, they don't own a taxi. They don't own a home, right? They benefit from people who have homes, who have taxis, connecting them with people and creating a market for that. And that's what one-on-one is focused on. And we're very serious about that mission.
Thanks, Ricardo. So we'll just allow David. So David has read the prospectus. I'll just allow David to share a few details with us. As I said, those that are here, more than likely not the guys on Twitter, would not have seen well up here. I'm sure some of you guys have started to read already. So David, just tell us like the dates, the price, you know, the amount, what it will be used for, etc. Just some highlights that you've seen from the prospectus. David Rose.
All right. So from best memory, we're looking at 388 million shares in the offer. However, 107.5 million shares are actual loans that are being converted to shares between Panjam and Sagicor Life Jamaica. So 72.5 million to Panjam and 32 point, I believe, 5 million to Sagicor Life. Then you have 30 million shares to Sagicor Investments employees prior to the opening date, and that's $1. Oh, the conversion price for the loan is actually at 80 cents. I believe it's $70 million from Panjam, and then you have the $30 million from Sagicor, but and at interest, which is why you get that conversion, but semantics. So 30 million for the employees, which is one-on-one employees prior to the opening date. 30 million shares, $1 reserved for anybody who is actually a member of the Jamaica Teachers Association or who is an independent contractor that actually provides content or builds content for one-on-one. You have 121.25 million to non-reserved pool persons, which is basically general public, that's $1. You have 60 million shares to the key strategic partners, which are persons or entities, professional advisors, or individuals that have supported the company in this invitation. The company, at best memory, I think it's 1.592 or 1.6 billion shares in circulation right now. It was pitched at a factor of 26.5. So after the offer, there should be about 1.9 billion shares in circulation. Uh, the company's use of proceeds is to be, for one, increase working capital purposes, two, invest into artificial technology, uh, for, I believe it is specifically to teaching and capacity building, and other purposes, investing in technology to further expand their platform and abilities. What I also remember is going back, the board members include you have Tyrone Wilson, who's independent director. You have Dr. Cranston, that's a woman. She's actually chair of the audit committee. She's an independent director as well. You have Michael Bernardo as the chairman. You have Ricardo Allen there as well. John Bailey, who's a shareholder. You have Mishka McLeod Hines, who is assistant VP of Capital Markets Sagicor Investments. She's the representative of Sagicor on the board. You have Karen Vaz, assistant VP of HR and Technology at Panjam Investments Limited, which is also a partner. Those are the board members.
Hold on. Yeah, just to clarify the Panjam bit, right? The Panjam is actually not a loan, but a convertible note that we did with Panjam in the heights of COVID. What was happening is that governments were coming to us to say, listen, digitalize our education system. We can't pay you now, we will pay you after. We got funds from Panjam, but we didn't take it as a debt. And so what we did was to take it as an equity, quasi-equity, which was to be converted into the IPO. So it's not a pure debt, it's kind of a mix between debt and equity. But yeah, Panjam, Sagicor, they have been funding the company. As I said, we've raised in excess of $200 million, Simon, from these two companies. And they continue to support us. They continue to help us to grow. And the leadership of one-on-one, if you look at it, there's a lot of mix there from Sagicor, Panjam, leveraging that as we scale globally. One of the things that Douglas Arrange said to me last week was that, Ricardo, you know what I like about one-on-one? This company is not a Jamaican company so as far as earning only from Jamaica. This is a Jamaican company who will earn globally, and we're going to drive foreign investment back into Jamaica, and that's the beauty of the investment.
Thanks, Ricardo, and thanks, David, for those few details from memory. So really happy. So David has more than read the prospectus, but yeah, man. Say, like, it's like I'm right, Ricardo. Yeah, man.
David is actually a former student of one-on-one. I taught him math back in the day. Big up, David.
Oh, well, so and you said there are more students in the audience here, certain. And oh, David was just reminding us that Douglas Orion is the mentor for the company. So David explained in the use of proceeds. At your staff event recently, you would have shared that there are some things that you're looking forward to that more lean towards AI and different types of technologies that you want to incorporate into one-on-one. Is that something you want to, well, you can share?
So anybody who knows myself or my team, you know that we're very kind of serious and obsessed with this idea of personalized learning, right? In my home right now, I have two wonderful daughters. My wife here with me, and I have an Alexa in every single room. And what I've observed, Simon, is how they interact with Alexa. I saw my daughter the other night. Alexa spelled cheese, and Alexa says Cheese. But what I'm obsessed about is that could Alexa respond in a way by saying, yeah, you asked to spell cheese, but how do you pronounce it? How do you do it? How does effective learning takes place? And so me and my team, we've been very obsessed with researching how we can use, how we could use, sorry, let me just, right. So myself and team, we've been kind of obsessed with the whole idea of using that same technology and doing and transferring knowledge in the same way a human does, right? I can tell you now that a lot of people used to reach out to me, Ricardo, how to do this math problem. And one of the things that we worked on was to create a bot that you can ask any math problem and it solves it for you. And we've done that through, for example, Telegram. If you go and read the prospectus now, we're using conversational AI to answer any questions you have on the prospectus. So now you don't need to call Sagicor to ask the little questions. You can ask the bot and it answers any question you have on the prospectus. Now just imagine the power of that if we can use that in every organization, use that in every school to actually field some of these questions and answers to people. And then when it needs a human, then the human comes in. It's a huge opportunity for us, Simon. This is a problem that even Google is trying to solve. And, I tell people, WhatsApp could have been created in Jamaica. And my job and my aim as a CEO is to create the technology that will power online learning, not only in Jamaica, not only in the Caribbean, but the entire globe. And I'm committed to that process. Simon, I did not give up that Fulbright scholarship for anything. I did not give that up because I just wanted to stay in Jamaica. I have a true passion for education. I have a true passion for people learning, and I'm obsessed with using technology to do just that. And so this IPO is really an opportunity for you to join me in that movement, to join a team of 70 people. We say I am one for a reason, Simon. It's no joke. I am one. He is one. He has been here from day one. We have all been here from day one. Our board members have not changed. And we are committed to making education, training, and technology better. Jamaica, Caribbean, the globe.
Thanks, Carl. No good. Check again. Yeah, well, we will be doing a SOTR summary on the prospectus in full, hopefully by tomorrow afternoon. So for those that may not want to go through the entire prospectus, there's the bot that where can they access the bot?
Just scan it on the prospectus and start chatting with it. It's a
Oh,
QR code.
oh, so scan the QR code from the that's in the prospectus now, and you can just ask, hey, what is the offer price? When does this open? And it will answer. And if you don't want to do that, I don't see why you would want to do that. Then we will do a SOTR summary of the entire prospectus, just to point out some of the key points. But as usual, we recommend that you read the prospectus. These documents are usually written, and I'm sure Ricardo is an educator, so I am sure it's written not with the highest technical language, but able for everybody to understand. We want to take some more
What's the name
questions.
of the bot, Ricardo?
Una. Her name is Una.
Why did you choose Una?
It means one.
Una.
Yeah,
She's
so
one.
so
So we
she
are
she's
one.
she's one.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
one. Trevon, are there any questions from Twitter? So we'll take some questions here. Are there any other questions here? Guys, you don't have to be shy, you know, or because you didn't read the prospectus yet. Uh, hmm? Oh yeah, Ernie, say I'm so shy. So I want to speak. So a part of the well, which I'm sure you're aware, we see you in the space, we see you in the social media space. You're not new to that. A part of what retail investors, and certainly you will bring some investors into the market with this IPO, have an appetite for is returns, right? Their expectation is that look, this is priced attractively, and as such, when it lists, because of that demand for the shares that is likely to be left over, then the share price would move up. But they and other investors also want to ensure that over the next few months, and Tyrone kind of touched on this Q1, Q2, Q3 kind of view. But however, that's still how some investors look at it. Now, when if it is that, so you're raising almost 400 million, if it is that this is oversubscribed and the amount of funds that you get is 3, 4, 5 billion, do you see yourself coming back to the market to tap into that extra capital?
You know, Simon, that's an excellent question. What I will tell you is that we're very mission purpose, a team of passion and purpose, and we have a number of things on our growth timeline that we're looking for. Obviously, there are acquisition targets that we're looking for. We're very ambitious. I can tell you we're looking into new markets. But there's one thing I will tell you, Simon. Our aim is to win a yard before we win abroad. And we see the Caribbean as our yard. We want to dominate e-learning in the Caribbean. We want to expand into Latin America. And to do this, we will need to aggressively build out our content and our technology. We have to go learn that Spanish, Simon. We have to go, retrain ourselves and our team to get in there. So the point is that we're going to be raising capital over the coming months. As I said, since inception, One and One has raised over $200 million to fund our aggressive strategy to build out the technology that we now have to generate all this income for us. And we expect this to continue. So yes, we do plan to raise additional capital. I must tell you, Simon, that, well, I have a friend who I met in 2016. In 2016, I was selected as a part of President Obama, first Youth Leaders of America's initiative when he came here. And I met a friend on that trip, and she just raised 10 million US in a Series A fund in North America. Our plans are huge. We're talking about Europe, we're talking about Africa, Latin America. This is technology, it's boundless. And so our aim is to raise the capital to take us there in a very prudent way. We're not just raising capital to say that we've raised capital. In the same way, I raised $5 million in 2013. And all of those guys who gave that money, their monies are valued 100 times what they gave us now. We want to do the same thing, to continue to create value for shareholders in a very prudent way, and so that we can have the credibility in the space to know that as a CEO, we're working not only for you, but we're asking you to come on, to be one, to be a part of that mission. And I keep speaking about the mission because this problem is a big problem to solve. But we are uniquely positioned to solve that problem, and we need your help in getting there.
And one second, Dave. I think that I suspect that the next few weeks will be very busy for you and your team, Ricardo, because we intend to engage you again on our other platforms in order to reach as wide as an audience as possible. Um, But I had a question about the expansion strategy, CSEC particularly, because I didn't know. So what do you provide to CSEC? So is it that every yeah man, is it that every CSEC student has to use your platform in some way?
Yeah, you know, once you interact with the Caribbean Examination Council, you interact with one-on-one, but you may not know this, right? So every student, you know, more or less has to interact with us through CXC. If you're a Flow customer, you have interacted with us. We're the technology that powers the learning that runs Flow across the entire Caribbean. And so for CXC, we have a unique growth strategy there, not just on the technology side, but the content side, Simon, where we are investing in content where students can use to prepare for their exams at their own pace. That's a part of our growth strategy, while still leveraging our technology to do this. So, you know, CSEC is one thing, okay? But there are many exams that are offered in the Bahamas. There's a different exam. You have places that there are varied exams that are offered. But we want to help students prepare. We want to focus on personalized learning. It's so incredibly important for us. You know, I've never been a believer. You ask any of my students who are in the audience, I've never believed in this whole idea of classes that should be big. I don't believe it. I don't think it works. Education started 400 plus years ago through a model where you had an apprentice kind of working with someone to acquire knowledge for the industry in the same way Keith mentioned earlier. That's where I want to get back to, and I want to use the technology to do it. This is not a Jamaican problem, Simon. This is a global problem. If we can solve this problem as Jamaicans, our company is boundless. In the prospectus, you'll see my chairman speak about the next Google, the next Microsoft. We are ambitious enough. We are brave enough to believe that we can do it for education. And that's our mission, and that's what we're targeting. So this IPO is a first step towards that goal, and we plan to do much more.
And Barita Investment stands ready to support in any capital raise that will happen as long as we do a diligence and get approvals.
And the funny and the funny thing is, I'm not sure if it was mentioned earlier, but if you're successful in Ricardo, you'll be the 100th company listed on the JSC in history.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
For context, you have to remember the JSC has seen many companies delist over the years for many reasons. You know, some acquired, some go private, but there's never been 100 active listed companies in any capacity. So if you finish, my brother, you're gonna be historic.
That's big, man. That's big.
Some additional context, Simon. You ask him.
Let me ask you a question, David. So what should we call it? 1 on 100? What do you think about that?
100.
Check Sunday.
Check Sunday.
Check the observer.
So for context, you know, one-on-one share capital at the moment is about 82 or 84.6 million dollars. So you know, between after you subtract the usual, you know, $30 million for expenses, they left at around, you know, probably about 430 million in share capital. So unless the finance minister decides to increase that share capital amount, the equity side kind of, you know, limited. So that context there matters. But you know, I remember when I was in lower six, and you know, at the time, you know, kind of you pointed it out. We have these large classes, and they're not as effective as they should be because the reality is mostly at different speeds, and that every teacher is a strategy necessary to actually teach a curriculum that is supposed to be taught over a year versus, you know, probably 6 months in essence. So, you know, it was those solutions, some of those practice questions and so on that actually helped, you know. And, you know, I was coming from a date a while ago, and I was talking to, I got it with friend Simon. You're married, man. I know you can't say that anymore, but, and, you know, I was talking to my friend, you know, I reminded her that I met her. I met her at those one-on-one classes, and, you know.
Your girl at 1 on 1?
No. No, I was talking to my friends, and I actually go on dates with them as well.
All right, David. All right.
No, but I was speaking to that, you know, I never went to those classes, I met a lot of friends, and, you know, we're still good friends today, you know. We actually got to appreciate different concepts and help each other for exams, you know, because the reality is, when you started grade school after one-on-one, it was pretty impressive, I'm not going to lie. Because Ricardo, you know as well, KB is rough, just like you in a sense, because So much content, so little time. It's not self-paced, but trust me, those fast paper solutions really came in handy. And big up the classes as well before you went online.
Thanks, Ricardo, and David. I think the final question from my side. We have any? Oh, okay. All right, man. So the final question from my side. I'm gonna check Twitter for questions. Is tertiary? Do you plan to touch on the tertiary part of the market?
Yes, so the tertiary plan for us is quite simple. Again, we connect people who have knowledge to people who want that knowledge, right? So everybody's familiar with Coursera and edX. We're familiar with that? Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, so we have our technology allows us to distribute courses from any online course provider and earn a commission on that, right? So we connect into the tertiary market through that medium. We allow trainers to connect with people who are in need of certification and so on. And that's how we tap into the tertiary market. We are not right now considering Simon like a blackboard to be an LMS of a university and so on. That's not our business model. We're very focused on our business model, which is again for people to use our technology to generate revenue and we get a percentage of it. It's the Uber model, it's exponential, and it's very simple and easy to do.
So basically build out that market. I'll ask you as well, and it's something that Tyrone has brought up before. How easy is it for you to find the other side of the market, which is the teachers, to support? So if I want to be taught German, for example, do you guys go out and search for that, or you have a pool of teachers that you pull from?
Yeah, since inception, guys, One and One has employed over 2,000 teachers in various capacity. That's 10% of the teacher population in Jamaica. And we're very serious about using people who have the knowledge. I make no mistake, I'm great at math, yes, but you have so many teachers who are great at so many things, right? And they may not be entrepreneurs themselves, but we're going to be creating what we call teacherpreneurs, guys. So if you know a teacher right now, you better tell them, right, that they need to get on board because we want them a part of this movement. So yes, Simon, that's the plan. We want to work with teachers, allowing them to continue using our platform and generating their own income. Now, in terms of the ease of finding teachers, I can tell you when we just started, guys, we went to a number of people, and when we pitched to schools and so on, teachers were telling us this is going to take our jobs. Well, here's the thing. I'll tell you a story. 15 of those teachers came on board with us. They're all going to be millionaires at the end of this IPO. And that's the power of the stock market. That's the power of investment. That's the power of them using their knowledge to create something that in COVID, everybody was using. And if we didn't have it, how would we have help? So, the tide is changing. The demand is shifting. Many people are coming on this e-learning train. We're happy to be the technology and the content that supports it, and we continue to even build more.
I'm not. Yeah, yeah. I'm not. So you said about 20 teachers are being targeted. But I'm not sure exactly of the base of teachers that invest. But I suspect that a decent percentage of them don't invest or don't interact with the investment market. What strategies have you, and by extension One and One, put in place to reach the teachers in order to make them aware of this opportunity?
So we're doing this through the JTA. We're partnered up with the JTA to ensure that they work with their teachers to not only give them investment training, but one of the things JTA did this year, Simon, was to give each teacher a gift certificate so that they can begin investing in the stock market. Teachers basically said to JTA, don't give me the pen, don't give me the book, don't give me those tokens. Give me a share of stock that I can start my investment journey. You see, people are getting smarter. They understand that the salaries won't pay the bills. The gas price is going up, grocery bill is going up. What they have to do is to start multiplying themselves through investing and through creating their own opportunities. These teachers I told you about, that they created One and One, they created our content. We worked with them night and day to create content. And I said to them a very simple thing. I cannot pay you, but I'm going to give you shares. This was 2013. Those shares are now valued for every single teacher, $2 to $3 million. And that's what they have been granted. That's amazing. 15 of them. Beautiful.
Excellent. Thanks, Ricardo. Trevon, we get the all right. May I just give the mic?
Yeah.
Well, Alright,
Yeah.
you have to,
Just
alright.
carry the phone over
Me
here.
cannot
No, the
move.
phone,
But the phone
can't,
You want the power
move
one?
because
Just
it's,
come.
Want the
Just
power
get
no,
up.
the phone is not the power.
Just get up. Just get up.
I cannot go
No,
in front of
that's fine. I can read it from you. I can read it from you.
So do you?
Alright, okay, do you guys have any university degree course on your platform certified by the University Council of Jamaica?
No, so we don't have any university degree course certified by UCJ or anyone, and that's specific, right? That's actually deliberate. We are not so much focused on university degrees. We believe that the tide is changing in the market. It would take years to train everybody by giving them a degree. What we need to focus on is giving people skills that they can attain in a weekend or a week. And so we are very focused on short courses, certificates offered by the top training institutions globally. So we are not focused on the long-term degrees now. Certainly in the future we may entertain it, but right now that's not our focus.
Thanks, Ricardo. I noticed that the GSS uses your platform.
Yep.
Does this mean the Hard Trust NTA is associated with the platform as well?
So one-on-one currently is in the process of signing up and training 20,000 students between the ages of 16 to 20 through a special partnership that we have with the Global Skills Council and JAMPRO. You see, as Keith mentioned earlier, the government is on a push to drive foreign direct investment back to Jamaica. In order to get that investment back to Jamaica, you need talented people here. One-on-one has been charged by the government through JAMPRO, through GSS, to train and certify people for that market. And yes, we're associated. Now, in terms of our Trust NTA, they are certifying the courses that we offer through this program. So that's the, and obviously one-on-one, we do content development as well for the Trust NTA. So we are associated. As I said, Simon, we are the backbone, and we like to see ourselves as the backbone, the technology and content that powers online learning. That's our mantra.
So let me just allow David. I know you've heard the prospectus. Do you have any questions for Ricardo so far? Okay, I'm looking some more as well. Oh, there's a question at the front of the crowd.
Ricardo, I know that there's a lot of online solutions. What about any offline solutions at the moment?
That's a good question.
So thanks for that question. You asked a very good question. We have online solutions, but what about offline solutions? The fact is that as of 2017, 54% of Jamaicans had access to internet connectivity. That means that 46% don't. How do we serve that market? Well, we've just created what we call Classroom in a Box, and it allows for anyone in rural Jamaica to access internet-based resources without being connected to the internet. We download an aspect of the internet on the box, we put it in any community, you connect to it, and you can browse your favorite videos and so on and continue to learn. So that's actually a big deal for us. We earn about $60 million per year from this business, and we continue to grow this business, especially in developing countries. We're targeting places like Africa, Central America, underserved communities with this device, and it will also be used to distribute exams offline as well. So we're not only catering for the online market, we build technology that powers the offline market as well.
Thanks for that.